Brewing Inc. is now syndicated on SeriousWriter.com. See them at SeriousWriter.com for resources, articles, videos, topical classes, and now a podcast, the Brewing Inc. Podcast, because we're syndicated on SeriousRider.com.
Right, and welcome back to another episode of our Interbrews series. Interbrews 22.
22, man.
Yeah, man. I think we're having too much fun making these. We need to slow our roll on.
No, man. We just got to keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, because we're coming at you guys with another fresh episode of the Mandalorian series.
2 fresh episodes.
Yes. So this is episode 2 of our Mandalorian reviews, but it's going to be 2 episodes.
Right.
That it will be reviewed.
Right.
Spoiler filled
As usual.
Lots of spoilers. So if you don't know about Baby Yoda, if you're not up to date on Mandalorians and what they're all about.
If you don't have Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And if you haven't hacked into someone else's Disney Plus.
Right.
Or they haven't given you access to their Disney Plus. And you haven't watched The Mandalorian. First of all, you really should.
You're missing out.
But second of all, just go ahead and turn this off now.
Or unless you're using us as the vehicle to get all your Mandalorian information. You don't want to spend the hours watching the show. You just want to hear our reviews on it. We're okay with that.
You'd rather hear us talk about it than you haven't seen it. That's a little odd, but you're more than welcome.
Whatever makes your life easier.
That's right, man.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
But episode 3 and episode 4. So episode 3 was titled The Sin.
Yes. Chapter 3 was called The Sin. Mm-hmm. And basically, it wraps up the storyline a little bit with him, the Mandalorian, giving Baby Yoda to the bounty hunter. Not to the bounty hunter, but going straight to that former Empire guy, whoever he is.
Right.
With
The guy that pulled out the bounty. Yeah. And he gets a hefty reward.
He gets...
for
just one of those Beskar things was obviously supposed to be a lot, but now he's got like a whole big thing of it.
Yeah.
And the whole time you can tell he's struggling.
Right.
Okay, so let's first do the setup and talk about the setup.
Yes.
In one of the first scenes, Baby Yoda gets out of the carrier thing.
Yeah, egg incubator.
And unscrews the top knob of this lever.
Yeah.
Right? And tries to put it in his mouth. Mm-hmm. And he,
that's not food.
Right. Yeah, he stops the baby and puts the baby back, right? Mm-hmm. And the whole episode was amazingly written. I think episode 3 was so far the highlight. I liked episode 4, but I think episode 3 as an episode was amazingly well written.
Yeah.
From top to bottom.
They covered a lot of ground.
And they covered a lot of ground, but it flowed.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened. And it set up some things, I think.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, so then he goes and he keeps asking what's going to happen to this kid. Yeah. Why do they want it so bad? Right?
Yeah. What are your intentions?
This is the question that they've set up. This is the mystery that they've set up. Why do they want this thing? And
it's very much a faux pas, because the response that he gets is, you've already taken payment and commission, and it's not in your nature of your people, of the Mandalorians, to ask such questions. You need to walk away.
Well, not even the Mandalorians, it's the Bounty Hunter Guild.
Bounty Hunter Guild, yeah.
Yeah, the guild you're not supposed to ask. You're just supposed to turn it in. And so he, turns the kid in, and by the way, we also realize that everyone got a fob to track down this kid. Like, he's like, how many did you give out? Because, he had been attacked in, like, episode 2.
Because, when he walked in to talk with...
Grief Karga is his name, and he's the head of the Bounty Hunter Guild.
Yes.
And he's like, look, man, even I got rich off of this. And he, like they had so many setups in the thing.
Yeah, he shows them the little pieces that he's got tucked in his chest pocket.
And the setups weren't, the reason why it was great writing is the setups weren't obvious.
Right.
Like the fact that the little baby Yoda pulls off the little ball. I mean, that's just a normal kid. It's cute. In the moment, it works. It shows that he's like annoyed, but he likes the kid. Like it did its own thing in the scene.
Yeah.
And then for them to bring it back later. And the same
it was a small save the cat moment.
It was a small save the cat
moment. He could have let
moment.
the kid just choke on the little ball, you know? But he didn't.
Right. And then the fact that the bounty hunter guy
showing his money,
he's got some of his Beskar. Now a lot of people don't know what Beskar is. I had to educate my son.
Yeah.
No, I had to. I know because there was a time in my life where I read every Star Wars book that had ever been written.
Right.
Like all the comic books, like all the stuff, right? As an aside, there's a great meme out there where Kathleen Kennedy is being quoted as saying, like, Star Wars isn't like Lord of the Rings, where you have all this source material to pull from, or Marvel, where you have all of this source material to pull from. And then the next picture is this guy, like, pointing to, like, hundreds of books and comic books that have been done over the last 30 years. For Star Wars. Yeah. Like, what do you mean there's been no story? You just decided to start over.
Right, yeah. Everything's not canon anymore.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so all that to say is Beskar is a material used by the Mandalorians, and it
forge their armor. Yeah,
it's armor, but this Beskar, I don't know about impenetrable, but lightsabers can't get through it.
Oh, okay.
So like the whole legend behind Beskar is whatever the conflict was with the Jedi, they developed this metal or found this metal where lightsabers would basically like die if they hit them. Like
gotcha. It turns them off.
Help protect them against Jedi, right?
Or Sith
or whoever, right? And so all that to say is, like, Beskar is one of the most prized possessions, and that's why the Empire, I guess, helped to try to wipe out the Mandalorians, those guys at one point.
Yeah.
All that to say is, so Beskar is really amazing,
valuable. Yeah,
really valuable. So he gives up the kid, asks his questions, and they're like, "Look, you're saying, he keeps getting the pushback." And he takes the Beskar, and he takes it down to the armor lady.
Yeah.
Which again is another callback. We've seen him do it before.
Right.
So now we see, I can get a whole armor.
Yeah.
And then there's this conflict with
one of the other.
With a lot of them.
Yeah.
But one of them specifically.
Because the Beskar is engraved or it's marked with the Imperial symbol.
Yep.
And he's like, these are the enemy. These are the people that have been trying to wipe us out. This is the reason why we're in hiding right now.
Yeah.
And he's out there negotiating with them, working with them. He's betraying us.
Yeah, he's betraying us.
But then the lady's like, you got to do what you got to do.
She's like, look, the Empire's not around. I don't know why. There's no reason to fight.
She's like, we should use their resources if it's going to benefit us.
And so there's a little fight, and he gets his armor, and it's all cool. It's a great moment.
Get some new weapon pieces.
Which that was a little predictable, to be honest. Like, it was like, okay, he's going to have to use that at some point. Like, I mean, like, this is...
But we were interested to see how it worked.
Right.
What were they called? Whistling sparrows?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So he goes and gets another bounty, another whatever they call it.
Puck. Yeah.
What do they call it? Like a little disc?
Yeah.
A puck.
Yeah.
And he gets another puck, and he leaves, and he gets in the ship, and he looks down. He's about to pull that lever, and the ball is gone.
Yes.
What a great callback.
Right.
Like, as a writer, I'm going, oh my God.
Right.
Like, this is so amazing.
Because it's forcing him to face the question, the fact, like, he can't just ignore it now. That ball is gonna always be a reminder,
right,
of him giving up this little child,
yeah,
to an ending that he wasn't sure of.
Yeah.
You know?
And the way they're bringing in some of these little catchphrases, like, this is the way.
Yeah, this is the way.
Like, this is the way. This is like, we have our own kind of code of ethics. It's totally that, like, honor among thieves kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we have our own code of ethics.
Right. Save some for the foundlings.
Yeah,
this
save
is the
some
way.
for the foundlings. Like without them, we're dead. You know,
Yeah.
they're the future.
Not only is that setting up,
Something.
It's setting up, world building in a sense of like you're getting an idea. Oh, okay, these kids are growing up, and later on the question is asked, like, how long have you had your helmet on?
Oh yeah. That was
episode 4. But yeah.
So he goes back in, and just then this is the reason why some of us are watching the show. Now he just gets to kick butt as a Mandalorian. He just gets to kick butt, and he goes in there and he's killing stormtroopers.
Well, he did some reconnaissance, and he's kind of spying around with his cool disintegration weapon that has a lot of different features to it. And he's scoping in on some guys, and he hears them conversing about doing away with. I don't remember the exact language they use, but they're talking about doing some kind of harm to
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda, and then that's when he's like, okay, I've got to stop this before it happens.
Yeah. And so he goes in there, and they're doing some sort of experiments or some sort of something on this kid, and the doctor in charge is like, don't kill me, I'm trying to save the kid.
Yeah, I'm the only reason he's
still
safe.
Alive.
Yeah.
And don't kill the kid, he's just a baby, you know. And so all that to say is he gets the kid, uses the whistling sparrows, right? Obviously that was going to happen.
Because he gets surrounded, and he's able to take out all 4 of them with one move, essentially.
And then, which he should have known was going to happen. So, I don't know, like, obviously, they don't have to explain it, I guess. But, like, you would think, he was like, oh, they all still have fobs, and I guess they all still work. I mean, like, he didn't figure that out. But then, obviously, as he leaves, all the fobs start going off again.
Yep, because the bounty has been reopened.
The bounty had been reopened. And so now he's got to face down all these bounty hunters.
So that was what you said. They made these great setups.
Yeah, it did.
Because when the way they told us that everyone had a bounty or everyone had one of these fobs was celebrating his success.
Yeah.
Everybody had one, and no one could do it. Only you could do it. And so it was this big celebration thing, but really it was a setup.
Yeah.
Because when he goes and goes back on his bounty and takes back his bounty, then it sets up everyone has a fob, and now they're all being paged back into this bounty is being active again.
Yeah. And they were kind of setting a lot of that up since the first episode, right? He lands on the planet, and that dude is like, oh, there have been a lot of people here. I want you to win because I want you to take this kid away because it's just violence after violence has been happening on this planet. So they've been setting it up since episode 1 that this kid is wanted, and it was where we get the IG, what was it, 17?
11. IG 11, yeah.
And, we get all that. And so now he's got to face down all these bounty hunters.
Another great Western classic kind of. He jumps into the back of a wagon.
Yeah, he does. He does, and then he like threatens the droid, and the droid goes forward, and they shoot the droid, and he's got to shoot the guys from like on top.
Yeah,
it was such an amazing moment, you know. And
great action sequence.
It was a great action sequence, and then he's cornered.
Yep.
And in the middle of getting cornered, the most epic thing, like when we watched it the first time, me and Micah,
you're like, what's going to happen? How's he getting out of this?
Holy crap, this is awesome. And all the Mandalorians show up.
They're coming in on their jetpacks.
Oh my God,
from the sky.
The coolest thing.
They all have like their different individual weapons, and you get to see what is the extent of the capabilities of this tribe of bounty hunters known as Mandalorians. It paints that picture more vividly for us. You start understanding, okay, they really are a tight-knit group. They're going to step out to save one of their own.
Well, and the setup there was the guy who was so mad, the one Mandalorian who was so mad, he was mad that he was working with the Empire.
Yeah.
And now
he's got his back.
Now he's got his back because he's standing up to the Empire. Now our Mando guy, the main character, has gone in there and kicking butt to save this kid. Like, now he's got honor. So now they're responding, and he's like,
this is the way.
This is the way. He's like, you're gonna have to relocate the secret.
Right, you're gonna have to relocate. Yeah,
you have to relocate your secret area. And he's like, this is the way. This is what we do.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the way.
Yeah.
So he makes it to a ship, and the next call, and then we got another two callbacks.
Yeah.
Still,
at
the end is the Grief Karga or whatever his name is.
He has snuck aboard Mando's ship because he saw he was outnumbered and he wasn't gonna be able to do anything in that scene. So he gets ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
And sneaks up behind Mando, and he's like, you got to give up the kid. Like, don't make me do this.
Yeah. And then there's the quick draw thing.
Right.
Like he ends up shooting the guy.
Yeah.
Kind of causing a distraction and shooting a guy. And
he's able to take off.
And then he takes off. And we think the guy's dead. We think, well, that's the end of him.
Right.
Because IG-11 gets shot in the first episode.
Right.
Like, we're thinking, well, that's that guy. That's the end of that guy's story.
Right, right. But then they pull in close up of him coughing up back to life, and he's pulling out his 2 Beskar credits from the chest pocket where he's shown it before. Yeah. And they have taken the laser blast for him. And I think possibly even because he knew they were there. I think he...
You think he aimed on purpose?
I do. I think he aimed there on purpose because he has a connection, a history with... Because their whole conversation was really like, come on, let me help you out of the situation. Yeah. You're messing up here, but I'm gonna stand in between and help you out. Like I'm your only hope.
I'm your only hope.
Yeah. And then even when he gets behind him, instead of just shooting him in the back, he again goes like, "Hey, don't make me do this. Like I've got the draw on you. Come on, we can still make this right," sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's
that's possible.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well. And to be honest, it's such a Western thing.
Yeah.
That the Mandalorian, I don't know if he's missed.
Right.
In the whole time I've been watching, all 4 episodes, I think he hits something every time he shoots.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy never misses.
Yeah.
And then in his fight with the stormtroopers, again, maybe because he had the armor and they wanted to show the armor. He actually does get hit by stormtroopers.
Right.
Stormtroopers actually do hit him.
They hit their target. Yeah.
Which has been a point of contention with so many fans since day one. The classic Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, these blasters are too precise. So only stormtroopers could be these precise. And
then they never hit anything.
The rest of the
movies,
9 movies now, and they never hit anything. Anyway, so, and then there's a whole nother callback with the little knob at the end.
He finally lets he's like,
and
here.
when we got to the end of that, like really, I just had to take a moment and go. I think I put it on Facebook. I said, "Thank you, Jon Favreau."
Yeah,
like that episode might have been the best thing that Star Wars has done in a long time.
Yeah,
except for maybe Rogue One. I have a lot of respect for Rogue One.
Exact conversation my brother-in-law and I had last night was I was like, man, The Mandalorian is making Star Wars exciting again. He's like, yeah, Rogue One was the only other movie that's had this feeling to it.
Yeah, I think Rogue One was... Because Rogue One did the same sort of thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rogue One was a kind of like war movie where everyone dies, like one of the old classic war movies where everyone basically dies. There might have been like one survivor at the end.
Yeah.
But there were some of those old school war movies where
you follow these characters
through this
all of the turmoil and everything.
All the turmoil, and they all die, but they gave their life for something noble.
Right.
Bridge over the River Kwai is an example.
Yeah.
Like, is all of that stuff. And The Mandalorian is doing the same thing. It's taking the old spaghetti Western and putting it into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And I think it's genius.
Why I never see them eating spaghetti though in a spaghetti
So they never. Well, it's because they were in Italy. It's making fun of it. So then, speaking of the spaghetti western,
yeah,
and that continued motif, it was a total. That was totally what it was in episode 4.
yeah.
In episode 4, I don't know how many westerns start out with the gunman coming into town,
Right.
and the locals going, "Oh, you must be a professional," or whatever.
You can help us with this
You can
problem
help us.
we have.
We only have $1. I mean,
Right.
like, that's Unforgiven, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like there's so many of these movies.
Excuse
where-
me, mister. Can you help us out?
Yeah. And then he shows the lone gunman shows he has a heart of gold by helping
Right.
out this with and there's always a woman that he's attracted to that
Right.
he thinks about staying for because he really's got to move on. And,
Yep.
Shane, the most classic Western, one of the first classic movies, Shane. That's the whole premise of the movie. Like,
Right.
so this episode,
Does he stay or does he go?
does he stay or does he go?
Yeah.
And is he gonna fight to protect for good?
Right.
And he's a fast draw kind of gunman thing.
Yeah.
I love the episode. I don't think it was as original and as well written overall
As the third
as the
episode,
third one,
yeah.
but I still loved it. I really did love
It
it.
was good, and they did some really good like spit takes and little funny things where like he notices the woman in the bar, and he realizes, oh, okay, she's not a local. She's from out of town.
Right.
He asked, when did she get here? And they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
about a week ago. And he's like, oh crap, she
Right.
probably knows who I am. And probably has one of those tracking beacons.
Right.
So he goes outside to try and pursue her, and of course, she gets the jump on him, and they start having this drawn out, battle. And then, like, in the middle of it, they kind of stops and it pulls away, and there's Baby Yoda sipping his cup of soup, watching them fight. Just like, you guys done? But well, they had cute little spit takes like that in there. But introducing this other character, this woman, kind of gave validity to his character in this new setting. Like, okay, I think I can take on this mission that they're asking me to do with her. Like,
With her,
I've got
right.
a little bit of help. The
Yeah.
two of us should be able to handle this, no
Yeah.
problem.
What did she say? We're going to do this for lunch money or
Right,
whatever. He's
right,
like, look, they can give us a place to stay.
Yeah, he gave a
He's
little
looking
quid pro quo.
He's looking for a place to hide out.
Something in the outskirts, and that's why he was like, when he showed up and she was there, he's like, oh crap, we're gonna have to
find a new place.
Yeah, because someone's already here.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing it for a quid pro quo on, I'll do this for you if you guys hide and give me a place to hide out. Little did they know, which is a great
Little did
saying.
he know.
Little did they know, there was an ATST involved in this whole scenario that nobody happened to say anything about. Now, I called it. It was great. It was.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, they've got an ATST, and then the people I was watching it with, they're like, they got a what? And then
Like even before they saw the footprint, you called it?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Well, because of the way that it was shooting in the
Oh,
woods,
true.
And I was going, it would be too big to be an AT-AT. And they're in the woods. I was like, it's got to be an ATST because that's kind of the same scenery that they've been used in before. And then when they showed the footprint, I was like, it's totally an ATST.
When they showed the footprint, I knew. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then they said it, and it was just so funny, like how I said it, and then it was reinforced. Like, see, told you.
So,
But yeah, so that was
that was awesome. Well, and they totally okay. So here's another thing. I didn't really have a problem with it, but when the Raider guys came in, I was like, "Are these orcs?"
yeah. We said the same thing.
Like,
oh, it's
I was
the
like-
Urkai. The Urkai's attacking.
The Urkai just show up, and my son Micah was laughing. He was like, "Totally, Dad. That's totally what they look like." So I was a little like, they couldn't do
Something a little different?
a little different than that. Like, I thought that would have been a great opportunity to bring in a different, like, species that was in some of the classic Star Wars stuff that we haven't really seen much of.
Developed a whole bunch, yeah.
So I thought that would have been kind of like they did with the Ugnaught in the first episode, you know, or first episode or two. And then, anyway, all that, so that was, I didn't ruin it for me, but I was like, really? Like, as quality as this thing has been up to this point.
Yeah. Nobody stopped
Nobody stopped and go,
you know what? This looks very familiar, like something before that's been in a major production somewhere.
like a lot of movies, like 10 hours worth of stuff. Anyway, and then, but it was a great opening scene with the mom and her daughter, and it showed that she was, that whole kind of scene of made us care for these people and made us want him to help them and all of that stuff. And they're just simple fishermen, they had the whole setup.
Yeah.
And then they did the whole, it's such a trope of Western trope, they teach them, well, why don't we teach them how to take down an ATST or whatever? Like, let's teach them. So you're teaching them how to stab and shoot guns. And the fact, the cool part, he opens up all of his weapons, and he just starts handing out weapons like he just brought with him.
Yep. I said at that point, oh, it's a single montage, and now we have a fighting army.
And so I thought, it was really cool. And then this Cara Dune character, I really liked her. She was with the rebellion, so that gave us a little bit of like, oh, she's probably cool. Yeah. And I liked her little backstory. They didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Right.
But they keep bringing up him taking off his helmet.
Yeah.
And I asked my son, I asked my kids, I said, do you think he's going to take it off at some point?
Right.
Because he almost let the woman he was kind of, attracted to.
Yeah.
He almost let her take it off. And he stopped her.
He's like, nope.
Because they end up stopping the Raiders and they end up stopping the ATST.
Well, they showed that he had to take his helmet off to eat.
Yeah.
But he only eats in private.
Right. He only eats in private.
Yeah.
This is the way. And he tells her, if I ever take it off, or no, he tells the Cara Dune lady, if I ever take it off, that's it, I'm out.
Yeah, I can't put it back on.
I can't ever put it back on.
And she's like, when's the last time you took it off? He's like, since I was younger than those kids.
Yeah, they were those kids.
Yeah.
So some cool backstory that they put in there, obviously on purpose because it's going to be later. And then of course at the end, just kind of continue with the spoilers, everybody. One of the bounty hunters shows up, and Cara Dune saves him because the bounty hunter was about to kill Baby Yoda, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And he was going to leave Baby Yoda there.
Right.
So he was going to leave Baby Yoda and move on.
Because he's like, look,
I did my
safer.
job.
Yeah. He's going to be safer without me.
And so...
But that's when they start realizing they don't actually know how he's being tracked. Because he thought it was the little egg thing. He left that behind, but they're still able to track him. So it's something to do with the actual being. And so now he's realizing, okay.
And that's what I said. I said... Why hasn't he tried to figure out how they're tracking him?
Yeah.
Like, that would be like...
I think it's got to be something
that would be mission number one.
Yeah, it's got to be something synced with the creature's DNA or something. Midichlorian level. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, and that's one of the articles I read. They said that's probably what they're going to have to bring... Not have to, but that's probably what they're going to bring back. Yeah. Which is a little annoying because I hate the midichlorians.
Yeah.
That was like... When that came up in Phantom Menace, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like...
We're trying to make this cellular level technical.
Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
The whole point of Star Wars and the whole magic, quote unquote, of Star Wars was the
unknown.
Well, it was the marriage of science fiction and fantasy. It was the magic. It was the combination of science fiction. And what was cool about science fiction and laser guns and Han Solo and the whole thing, and then you have the wizards and the swords and you have both. You have that marriage between the two of them, and it really shot themselves in the foot. George Lucas shot himself in the foot, in my opinion, with the midichlorians.
Yeah.
So here's my question. I don't know if did you answer it? Do you think he's going to actually take off his helmet and like end being a Mandalorian in this season, or do you think they're going to have to like try to keep it? Because they're going to have to end the season.
I don't know if it's going to be the end of this season, but the fact that they have a known actor with a well-known face from another big, two other big TV show series makes me believe that they're going to show his face at some point.
They keep setting it up.
Right.
They're going to have to resolve it somehow. I don't know how they'll resolve it, but they're going to have to resolve it somehow. And here's my other question. How much do you think by the end of the season, this first season, because this end of this first season is going to coincide with the rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
How much do you think...
You ready for my fan theory?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he's going to wrap up the story arc of this Baby Yoda thing, and we're all going to be wrapped into what he's doing with that. And then I think it's going to get slid in at the very end of the season, right before, or I don't know if it's going to be right before, somewhere along there. Maybe, I think they're going to slide it in. Hey, your next bounty, your new mission is to transport this little child to Tatooine. Her name is Rey.
Oh, maybe.
And I think they're going to explain how she ends up where she's at through him.
I thought, here's what I thought they were going to think.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is my fan theory.
Yeah.
But here's where my mind was going, because somebody connected with the Empire. Because on the cast list, they haven't called him this name in the show, but the guy who was trying to find this kid is Moff Gideon. So he was a Moff he was like Moff Tarkin. He was like a governor.
Yeah.
So he was this big deal in the Empire. And I'm thinking he knows where the Emperor is. I'm thinking that the Emperor is somehow trying to manipulate whatever they're going to do, midichlorians or the Force or something. That they're gonna show how the Emperor is coming back. That's what I thought. I thought they were going to try to set up
how he.
This is how
back,
the Emperor is coming back.
One way or the other, I do believe they're going to tie this series right into where the movie is going to land,
because it's Favreau.
Yeah,
I mean he's been trained by Marvel,
right?
Like, and let's just say a couple things about Jon Favreau right here, okay? I have so much respect for him as a creator and a director. If you haven't seen the movie Chef,
I haven't yet, but I've watched a lot of things that talk about it, and
the movie Chef is one of the most beautiful independent movies you will ever see.
I keep hearing.
It's engaging, it's entertaining, it's not slow, but it's so passionate. It's it's just, and it's got so much heart in it. So much heart in it. And it's just a great movie. And I have told everybody, I keep telling everybody, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to.
Where did you watch it?
Where did I watch it?
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, it was on Netflix or something.
Okay.
And I had heard in a roundabout way about it.
Yeah.
And I like Jon Favreau. I mean, I've liked him ever since Swingers.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I've liked him ever since day one. I mean, his character on Friends, where he was doing the MMA. I mean, like, I've loved this guy.
Yes.
I love him. But I have so much respect for him for that movie. And then he did Iron Man. No one knew what was going to happen with Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, Iron Man was not a major character in the Marvel Universe. I mean, he wasn't one of the main guys.
Right.
And he really wasn't a very likable character in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
He was the jerk.
Yeah.
He was a drinking, womanizing jerk.
Yep.
And he put together a story. I mean, he didn't make the story, but he put together that movie with Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr. Perfect casting, and he made it cool for the comic book geeks, and he made it accessible for
the new people.
For new people,
fresh.
He started the whole Marvel way of doing things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Marvel realized we have a major hit on our hands.
Yeah.
That they added a whole other scene at the end.
Right.
With Nick Fury.
Thor. Yeah.
With Nick Fury going, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And all of us in the theater, our minds went, what the crap?
They just connected this movie to a future movie. Yeah. So he has been well versed at tying things in to other productions that he's not even a part of,
right.
you know?
You know what other classic he's done? Elf.
Yeah, yes.
He directed, and I'm just telling you, like, it totally does not surprise me that he was the one. George Lucas, he hit it with C-3PO and R2-D2. Cute, funny. I mean, he got it right, even though it was derivative of that Japanese movie, but he got it right.
Right.
It was original, and he got it right. And then every time he's tried to do something cute since then, it's failed.
Jar Jar Binks.
Ewoks,
yeah.
Jar Jar Binks. Like, he keeps trying to do something original and cute for the kids. And it just doesn't surprise me that Jon Favreau of Elf and Chef, movies with huge hearts, it doesn't surprise me that he's the guy who can take this spaghetti western style Star Wars flick and Star Wars show and put real heart in it, and not in a cheesy way, and not in like because it was the same way in Chef. It wasn't cheesy,
right? Because he actually had the passion.
He had the passion for this project, and it was so well done and well written. So anyway, I just have so much respect for Jon Favreau and what he's doing. And I'm watching this just continually amazed. By the way, the last episode was directed by Bryce Howard.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that, no.
Bryce Howard is Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
and she's the one who's in the new Jurassic Park movies.
Yes.
So she directed, and Ron Howard directed
Han Solo. Yeah, Star Wars, yeah.
So a whole other aside, if you watch the movie Chef, but also on Netflix is a chef show where he's going with this actual chef that consulted him on the movie,
for the show,
and they became really good friends. And now they're going around to other chefs and other friends' houses, and they're
cooking
just
and eating good food.
Great
It's
show.
a great show.
It is a great show.
We binged a couple episodes of that, and that's kind of where I started hearing more about the Chef movie. So, yes, that's why The Mandalorian's working.
It's working.
It's got the budget, as we talked about in our last episode, and then the director, Jon Favreau. Yeah, there's really nothing that he's done that makes me go like he's not like an M. Night Shyamalan where you're like 50-50. Yeah. Are we gonna get him a good movie or not? Like
M. Night might be 30-70.
30-70, yeah. I was being nice.
30,
yeah. But yeah, Jon Favreau. Even when he plays like the little off characters in movies, you just appreciate his role.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited about The Mandalorian. I hope.
Where did episode 4 end?
Them leaving the planet again, wasn't it? They were at least leaving the planet, like he was just leaving.
Okay. Yeah.
And so where's he going next? That's kind of the question.
Yeah.
They haven't done, and I kind of like it, but they haven't done a lot of cliffhangers. They haven't done like a cliffhanger, which I kind of like. They just kind of let it.
They wrap up the episode.
They wrap it up. It's a nice little story, or an amazing one like with episode 3.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see where he takes this, because there's so many great Western tropes that he could reimagine for Star Wars.
Right.
And I really want to see. He's got to answer the questions. Why do they want Baby Yoda? Where did Baby Yoda come from and get the Force? Like, there's a lot of these questions they're going to have to answer in the next 4 episodes. But I kind of, at this point, I have total faith that he'll do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I so far still giving it 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, man.
I've rewatched all the episodes at least twice now.
I've only rewatched the 3rd one, but
yeah,
they're amazing.
it was good. Yeah, well, my wife she didn't make it all the way through the first one, and the 4th one was out, and we're like, "Do you want to watch it with us? We will rewatch all of them with you to get you caught up to that point." And she ended up bowing out after the second one again because it was late, and we're like, let's keep watching. Yeah. And so we rewatched 1, 2, and 3, and then watched 4 for the first time. But yeah, I am excited to get more into the Mandalorians because for the longest time people have been wanting a Boba Fett movie. You know, they want more information, and all we've gotten about Mandalorians was from Jango Fett and Boba Fett point of view, but that was really they were a very close-knit storyline in regards to these Mandalorian people. Like what we get about Boba Fett is very limited to him being used for cloning and him having his son and being kind of involved in the whole wars right before the Clone Wars and all that.
Yeah. And by the way, as a PS, there are also articles online that are making the argument that Boba Fett and Jango Fett were not actual Mandalorians.
Ah, okay.
That because we kept seeing them, especially Jango, take off his helmet, and all this stuff, that they weren't. That it's kind of now canon, which is kind of stupid to me because, like I said, I read every book that came out with, and he was always called a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
but
they were like rogue, like they maybe were a part of it. They got
There's
the
some
armor.
Stuff in the Clone Wars where the TV show where they talk about that they weren't really Mandalorians. They just had the armor or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know, but I agree. All the getting into the culture and the backstory and all the world building with the Mandalorians. Well, like
and you've always seen the symbol of the mythosaur, a skull creature, and he said it in the second episode. He's like, your people, your ancestors rode the great mythosaurs, and you can't even tame this little beast here and ride that. But it's just callback to these little details that you've gotten from watching or reading comics or reading the books or playing the video games, but have never really been explored in the big screen type format. Even though this is a TV show, but I would consider big screen because of the production value. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I totally agree. I think it's going to be amazing. It has been amazing, and I'm just excited to see where he takes it.
I think I'm going to go rewatch episode 4 now. So. But I don't think I have anything left to say. Do you?
I don't.
Well, then I guess we will raise our cans to inspiration. and you guys stay inspired. Adios.